Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Russell Matthews here. Now, when you're new to cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Ethereum, it can be pretty confusing as you try to figure out what the best way is to get started. And to make matters even worse, many of the programs and companies that have been created to make this process easy aren't available in Canada, or they don't make as much sense to use in Canada because of hefty fees. I know it was definitely a frustrating experience for me, but hopefully you can benefit from my frustration, because in this video we're going to talk about the best ways to buy cryptocurrencies in Canada, as well as the best ways to earn money on that cryptocurrency right here in Canada. Now, I'm just a regular Canadian, and there are a lot of people that are a whole heck of a lot smarter than me when it comes to this, but I figured that my experience as a regular Canadian could be helpful for you as a regular Canadian as you look to get started. So by the time you make it all the way to the end of this video, you'll know 1, the best ways to buy cryptocurrency in Canada, 2, the best way to make more money on this cryptocurrency, and 3, the best way to store this cryptocurrency that you're holding in the safest way possible. Because let's face it, it would be a nightmare if we were to lose the money that we put in. So let's get started. But before we do, if you haven't already done so, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm bringing constant Canadian content right here on YouTube, and let's face it, there's not quite enough of that these days. First, we need to talk about the best way to buy cryptocurrencies in Canada. And this is the most daunting task because there are so many different services we can choose to do this, but I've narrowed it down to 2 of my favorites, and each of these represents a different way in which these companies make money, because let's face it, the people who are providing these services need to make a buck also. The first option for the way these companies make money off of you is through upfront fees. Now, this is just like traditional banking, right? In order to do transaction, to put money into the system, you need to pay certain fees. Now, there's pros to this and there's also cons. The pro is that you can see all of these upfront fees right at the start and you know exactly what you're going to pay. Now, the downside is that sometimes these fees can be pretty high and potentially higher than this other option. The second option makes money through something called spread fees. Now, the way this works is that they sell you Bitcoin at a slightly higher price and they buy Bitcoin back from you at a slightly lower price. Now, they make money on the spread between these two prices. You can sort of think of it like if you were to go to EB Games and buy a video game and then go back a week later and sell them that video game. You wouldn't get as much money selling that game back, and they'd make a little bit of money on that spread. Now, in this case, in cryptocurrency, that spread is pretty small, and when you do the math, the fees can actually work out to being a little bit less in some cases than the upfront fees. If you like the sound of knowing exactly what fees you're going to be paying, even if it is a little bit higher than the other option, then you might want to go with the upfront fee option, which is Bitbuy. That's the one that I've used that I've had the most positive experience with. On the other hand, if you like the idea of using the spread model and paying no upfront fees, but having them make a little bit of money off of the buy and sell price, then you might want to go with the option called Newton. I've used both in the past and had positive experiences with both. However, I'm starting to use Newton a little bit more because after the calculations that I'm going to show you in this video, I found their prices to be a little bit better and that I wasn't paying as high of a fee on their spread than I would with the upfront fees of Bitbuy. We're going to go over how to set up each of these accounts, so if you want to follow along, there are links down in the description that can actually get you a little bit of bonus money when you sign up. So if you want to follow along, make sure to click those links down there. First off, we'll start with Bitbuy, but if Newton sounds like the better option for you, there are timestamps to this video so you can sort of skip ahead and get to that Newton section if that's something that you're more interested in. The first step is to create an account on Bitbuy. Now, you're going to do this just like any other thing that you've signed up for on the internet. You're going to have to put in your name, your personal information like your email, and you may have to give a little bit more detail in this because it is dealing with financials. You may need to verify your identity with something like your driver's license just so they can make sure that you are actually you. Once you've created your account and verified your identity, after doing your 2-factor authentication where they'll text you a code so you can put it in so they can make sure it's you logging in, you should be able to access your dashboard for Bitbuy, and it looks something like this. Once you've made it to this screen, the first thing you're going to need to do is to add your Canadian dollars so that you can then transfer them for whatever cryptocurrency you want to buy. And you can do that by clicking this button here that says add funds, obviously. And it will give you 2 different options. The first one is Interact e-transfer, and the second one is wire transfer. Now, as you can see here, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can read it here in the video. For Interact e-transfer, there is quite a large fee. Right here, you'll see that the fee is 1.5%. Now, if you were to do a wire transfer, the fee is a little bit lower, that's 0.5%, but there's that minimum of $20,000. So you're likely going to need to Interac e-transfer. Now, the benefits of Newton, the other option that we're going to be going over today, is that there is no fee here on the Interac e-transfers, and oftentimes it works out to being less of a fee. But if you're looking for mainly convenience, then this is a great way to do it with the Interac e-transfer. So if you click the Interac e-transfer, it will take you to this information. You have to confirm that you know that you're going to enter all the correct details so that you don't get anything wrong here. We're going to go over that soon, so you can click I understand. Now, when we get to this point, you're going to enter the amount of Canadian dollars that you're going to be adding to the account. So let's say we're doing 100 Canadian dollars. We'd submit that and view the details and go in here, and it's going to give us information as to how we can actually use the e-transfer from our normal bank account to get our money into this Bitbuy account. Now, I'm sure many of you have used e-transfers in the past, maybe to send money to a friend after they bought dinner that night. You're going to set this up in exactly the same way. You're going to go into your banking account, whatever it be, CIBC, TD, Scotiabank, whatever it is that you use, and click e-transfer or send money, email money, whatever your option is for your bank. And once you get to that screen, you're going to create a new contact. Once you create the new contact, you're going to make the recipient name FLC Payments and make the recipient email address contact@firstledgercorp.com. And you can conveniently click these things to copy them to your clipboard, so you can just copy and paste right into your online banking account. Now, one key thing to note is this right here. You're going to want to include in the memo or the message portion of your e-transfer this number. Now, the Bitbuy account is going to use this number to verify that it is actually this transaction so that it can put that e-transfer into the correct account. You don't want your money going into somebody else's account, so you're going to want to use your individual number. Now, this is my number. Don't use this one. Use the one that's there for you. Once you have that information set up in your online banking, you're going to be able to send that money over. Now, this could take anywhere from 30 minutes up to 3 hours potentially for this money to show up in your account. So if it doesn't show up right away, that's okay. You'll also receive an email confirmation that this money has been successfully received by Bitbuy from your previous bank. Once that e-transfer has been successfully deposited, this number right here will go up by whatever amount you decided to deposit, minus any fees that were charged by Bitbuy. Remember, that was the 1.5% on Interac e-transfer. And from here, you can choose from a number of cryptocurrencies that you may want to buy. You'll see we have Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum, which is also quite popular, Litecoin, EOS, Stellar Lumens, among many others. But if you're just beginning, I'd recommend starting out with Bitcoin or maybe Ethereum. But no matter which cryptocurrency you choose to buy, the process for buying it is pretty much the same. You click this buy button, obviously, and you're going to enter the amount of Canadian dollars you want to spend in order to get that cryptocurrency. So if we were to use that full amount, you'd use 100 here, and it would show you how much Bitcoin you can buy with that $100. And then if you have that money in your account, you can purchase Bitcoin, and then it should show up in the next few minutes, 15 minutes at most, in your account. And that's how you buy cryptocurrency with the Bitbuy option. Remember, that's the upfront fee model where they tell you exactly how much you're going to pay as a percentage of how much money you're putting in. Now, if you're not going to follow along for this next section where we talk about Newton and that other option for buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, then you can check the timestamps and skip forward so that you can make sure you don't miss out on how to best protect your cryptocurrency and how you can actually make a little bit of money on your cryptocurrency just for holding it. If you've chosen to go with the Newton option and you click the link in the description to follow along, you'll head to a page like this. Now, this is where you can create your account, and you'll create your account in just the same way that you would create any account online. You're going to have to provide your email address, your name, and some other information to verify your identity. Once you've fully created your account and verified your details, you should be able to make it to the Newton dashboard, and it looks a little bit like this. The first thing you're going to need to do is to add Canadian dollars to this account so that you can then transfer those Canadian dollars for whichever cryptocurrency you want to buy. And you can do that by clicking this right here where it says add funds. Now you'll click add funds and you'll have options here. You may also see an option that says link your bank account. You're going to need to link an existing bank account, whether it be at TD, CIBC, or any other big bank. Once you link this bank account, you're able to actually transfer money very quickly and for no cost with Interac e-transfer. Once you've linked your existing bank account with this account, you can click Interac e-transfer and request however much money you want to come from that bank account to this one. For this example, let's say we want to send over $50. So we'd enter $50 there, and we can scroll down and we can click here on the send fund request. Now this works a little bit differently than other Interac e-transfers where you'd send directly from your bank account. Instead, this actually sends you a request that you accept in your email saying, hey, Newton wants to take this money from your bank account. Once you accept this, it will allow it to do so, and you should see that money showing up in your account in the next half hour to potentially 3 hours. Once you've added these funds to your account, you can actually buy the cryptocurrency, whichever one you want to buy. And you do so by clicking this button right here that says trade. Now here is where you can select what kind of cryptocurrency you want to buy. So if you want to buy Bitcoin, you can just leave it like that. But if you want to buy something different like Ethereum or Litecoin, depending on what it is you want to buy, you can select it here. Now you're going to enter the amount you want to pay in Canadian, and it's going to sort of pre-generate with the amount that you can buy in Bitcoin. In this case, if $50 would equal 0.00084 of Bitcoin. Then you can go ahead and click review trade, make sure everything is correct here, and then click to buy that cryptocurrency. Now remember, with Newton, they're not actually charging you any upfront fees like they do on Bitbuy. However, they're selling you the Bitcoin or whatever other cryptocurrency you're buying at a slightly higher price than you would be able to get it at on other platforms. But in the vast majority of cases, the extra money they're charging you to buy actually works out to being less than the fees would have been on other platforms. So now you've bought your first cryptocurrency. Congratulations, it's exciting. I know that I was excited when I did it for the first time. It seemed like a daunting process to start, but it's actually pretty easy. But you might be asking, hey, what now? Now what do I do? Do I just leave it? Am I done? Do I just wait? Well, there are 3 different options that you can go forward with at this point. The first option is, yeah, you could be done at this point and just leave your Bitcoin in the hands of either Bitbuy or Newton, right? And your money could sit there and it could sort of fluctuate up and down with the price of these various cryptocurrencies. Now, I personally wouldn't recommend this option because there are 2 other options which in my eyes are a lot better. The first of these options is to transfer your cryptocurrency to a different wallet, which will actually pay you interest on the cryptocurrency you hold inside of it. This means that not only will the value of your cryptocurrency go up and down with the market depending on how much it's selling for that day, you'll also actually make some extra cryptocurrency on top of this because they're going to be giving you a little bit of cryptocurrency as a reward for holding your cryptocurrency in that account. The second of these 2 options is the absolute safest way to hold on to your cryptocurrency so that you can make sure personally that nothing happens to it. And this is called holding your cryptocurrency in a cold wallet. Now this is sort of like a very high-tech USB stick that you can plug into your computer, load all your cryptocurrency onto, and keep it in a safe place. Now if that second option sounds good to you, where you can hold your cryptocurrency in a different place and actually make some interest on this, then I'd recommend a crypto wallet called BlockFi. Again, there's a link in the description if you want to create an account here. And when you click that link, it'll take you to a page that looks like this. You're going to go through a very similar account setup as you did for your previous account. And once you have that created, you'll be taken to a screen that looks like this. At this point, you'll want to click the deposit button so that you can start the transfer of the cryptocurrency from your previous location, either Bitbuy or Newton, over to this new location of BlockFi. So first you'll click the deposit button and you'll select which type of currency you're going to be transferring over. Maybe it's Bitcoin, maybe it's Ethereum, maybe it's something different. So in this case, we'll click Bitcoin. At this point, you're going to see this long string of letters and numbers. This is how they're going to know that they're sending the cryptocurrency to the correct place. So this is a very important step. You're going to want to click this here to copy this, or of course you can do it in the basic way where you highlight it and click copy. At this point, you'll want to navigate back to either Newton or Bitbuy, depending on which one you chose to use, in order to initiate this transfer. Now we'll stick with Newton for this example, but it's pretty much the same in Bitbuy, so you should be able to follow along here too. At this point, you'll want to click the withdraw button, and we're not going to use e-transfer or bank account because we're not trying to sell this and take back our Canadian dollars. We're going to transfer our crypto to a different wallet, so we click this option. Now in here, we can select how much we want to transfer. In my case, I'm going to use the max button because I'm trying to transfer all of it. Now this is where the address that we copied back when we were on BlockFi comes in handy. We can paste this address right in, and okay, now we know that our Newton account account or a Bitbuy account knows the correct place to send this money, our BlockFi account, so that we can earn some interest. Once you've initiated that transfer, after a little while, you should see that amount show up in your BlockFi account. If it's your first time doing it, I recommend doing all of this with small amounts of money, just so that you can make sure you can get the whole process down pat before you start doing it with larger amounts of money. Now that your cryptocurrency is held in an interest-bearing wallet like BlockFi, you should expect to see some money start to accrue on the interest side of things as the price fluctuates for the cryptocurrency at the same time. Now, if the second option sounded good to you, the most safe way to store your cryptocurrency in a cold wallet, then I have a different recommendation. This is a company called Ledger, and they make these cold storage wallets. And again, yeah, they really look like USB sticks, but they are very high security. Using a cold storage wallet like this is the safest way to store your Bitcoin because you have full custodial power over it, or you know exactly where it is, and there's no risk of these other third-party websites having issues. This Ledger cold storage wallet even has a way to recover your Bitcoin even if you lose this USB thumb drive looking thing, because usually I lose those things too. So there are ways that you can back this up so that even if you lose it, you're not going to be out all of that money. We're not going to go into all the fine details as to how this works, but if you're looking to pick one up, depending on which model you get, it could cost you anywhere from $80 to $150 Canadian. And if you're interested in buying it, there's a link down there in the description so that you can do so easily. So that was a whole bunch of information, and I hope it's given you a good idea of your options, the best ways to buy cryptocurrency, and the best way to make a little bit of money on it if you want to earn that interest, and the safest way to store it. I know that it would have been super helpful for me when I was starting it out if I had all of this information in one place, so hopefully this helps you a little bit. Again, I'll emphasize there are a ton of people who are a whole heck of a lot smarter than me when it comes to cryptocurrencies, but as a regular Canadian, I thought it might be helpful to bring my perspective and personal experiences so that you, as a regular Canadian, could do it too. And let me know down in the comments, do you want to keep seeing content like this about cryptocurrencies? We don't do it all the time on the channel, but if you're interested in it, we might talk about it a little bit more. And of course, if you haven't already done so, make sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I'm constantly coming out with Canadian-focused content, so if you want to support more content like that that's aimed specifically for Canadians, then make sure to hit those buttons down there. And with all of that said, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I really hope this video helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time. This channel is supported by viewers like you. Thanks, channel members.